Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Calloway, the Wanderer. Sorry for that long intro. Yeah, I want I didn't have time to make an intro for you. Forgive me. But yeah, I'm here today. I'm here tonight with the creator of Blerd Comics. If you don't know Blerd Comics, this gentleman Brandon Calloway can tell you what it is. Yeah, so he's on Instagram and check him out. And how you
Yes, sir.
doing, Brandon?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How about you? How you doing tonight?
Okay, I'm okay. Looking forward for this interview. It's really interview.
Likewise, man. Likewise.
Yeah. So you're the founder and the creator of, like, why
Uh,
don't you can you hear me?
yeah. I can hear you. You went out for a
Oh,
real brief moment. You said founder and creator of you talking about Blur Comics or
Blerd,
Black Cards or what?
Blerd Comic.
Yes, yeah.
Why don't you break down what Blerd Comics is?
Oh yeah. So Blur Comics is an indie comic publishing company. Our promise to you is that you will find your next favorite story inside of one of our books. We know that everybody is specifically black nerds are looking for really good, authentic uh, stories that highlight black characters, and not stories that are pandering to black people or where the central theme is that they are black. It's just really good stories where they happen to be black. So that's what we try to do at Blerd Comics, and we also really focus now on publishing in a little bit of a different way. And so most of the times for us, you're going to get one of three things. You're going to get a 8-page comic, and so instead of a whole bunch of issues that you gotta read your issue 1 and 2 and 3 and follow along, we do 8-page one shots or 60-page one shots, and that way you got the quick short read, or if you want to really dive in, sit down, you can read a full story without it being piecemeal to you. But then also we're doing the next thing that we're doing is a anthology, just a collection of stories. So we got 9 comics, 5 different stories, 180 pages, all in one book. So you get to sit down, look through, read the whole book, um, pretty much guaranteeing that one of these, if not all of those 5 stories, you'll come away loving. So that's what we're trying to do at Blerd Comics, building that up with the stories we have, the stories that we got coming to launch all the way into our sister company Blerd TV, where we start to turn some of the comics into anime.
Okay. How long did how long did Blerd Comics existed?
Yeah, so we've been around for about 5 years, and so it went through a few different, iterations. And we started off as just Black Spartans because that's our flagship title. Is what we were really focused on launching and pushing and putting out to the world. So one we put the most time, energy, and effort into, and then began to diversify and create a few different stories that came to me, and that I was excited to write, which turned into Dark Moon Comics. So we moved from just a single title over to a whole publishing company, and then as the company continued to grow and we got more specific on what who we are, what we're about, who our audience is, who we're trying to serve. We know that we are Blerds and we're trying to serve Blerds, and so we made that full transition into Blerd Comics uh, probably about 6-7 months ago. And so yeah, we've been around 5 years overall, but just getting into Blerd Comics in the last few months.
What was that like pushing that? Like coming up with the idea of doing this entity that you have.
Uh, coming up with the idea of going or
Like,
doing Blerd comics, or
yeah, Blerd Comics, just making it like that was what did you plan it like how long did you plan it, like was it for years or
yeah, no, that's a good question. You know, when so back in 2018, a friend of me and a friend of mine, we were talking about, you know, I love anime, he loves anime, and it was, you know, like how cool would it be if we could see more Black people represented in anime? I was like, man, how cool would it be if we actually, you know, created our own anime? And you know, it was like, you know, the first step in that is actually creating comics. Um, and so I spent 2 years from 2018 to 2020 just taking or reading books and watching YouTube videos and just learning how to write specifically for comics, and how to write a good story, how to write a character, how to world build in general. So I spent a good amount of time just learning how to write. And then in 2020, you know, pandemic hit, had time at home. I finished out The World. A buddy of mine showed me how he writes his scripts, and so I locked myself in a room for a day and knocked out that first script of Black Spartans, and um, and then just, you know, I put that first one on Kickstarter. It got funded, and I was able to get that out and put that out. And then the process of creating comics, uh, especially going through that first time, it was just a really fun process of, you know, developing the story, developing the world, developing the characters, developing the script, and then sending that off to an artist, and the artist would send back the layout. Uh, and so I get to see it and look at it, and it starts to come to life. This idea that I had that I didn't put on paper is now starting to come to life visually. And then we agree on the layout, and then they send back the line art, and so that was coming to life even more. And then we agree on that, and they send back the colors, and then they send it, and the next step they send it back the letters. And now, you know, I've, you know, it's a journey from the concept and idea, and then step by step by step, all the way through having it fully realized. And so, yeah, the best. This, I know it's not a question that you asked, but the best part, funnest part for me about writing comics is just going through that process, because it's like I'm getting to experience my story, you know, for the first time over and over again.
yeah, thank you for sharing it. Like I like how did you get connected with the artist again, like if you excuse me if I didn't catch everything.
Oh, no. Yeah. So how I got connected with the artist, um, I just went on Facebook groups, went to Instagram, just looking for different artists, different artists that, you know, had the style that I wanted, but also that I could afford as well. You know, the Marvel DC guys are Marvel and DC prices, as they should be. Um, but yeah, it just social media networking of going into Black comic creator groups and saying, "Hey, I'm looking for artists. Do you guys have anybody that you recommend?" Or going into indie you know, artist groups, any comic artist groups, and saying the same thing, and then following people on Instagram, because you can really see their art on Instagram, and then having those conversations with them there. Yeah, that's mainly how I found all of my artists.
Yeah, a lot of, you know, I've spoken to like a lot of creators, comic book creators, writers, and
Mm-hmm.
they did the same method that you did, like try to connect with artists like on Instagram or some other, you know, somewhere else. Yeah,
Yeah.
they started like the same way you started, like like the pandemic and stuff like that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I spoke to one gentleman not too long ago, and he did like he did like a black manga type thing. So
Oh,
yeah,
what was the name? What was the
what was
comment?
I forget. It just
That's
slipped
all good.
away. Yeah,
Because there's a couple of other people, out there doing, Macchiato Studios. Uh, they got a really dope manga out. And then there's one called Unrivaled. Unrivaled is a really dope manga. And then there's a brother, he has a comic called White Manga. No, Apple Black. Apple Black is a black manga.
There were two brothers that they from California.
Oh.
And one's a writer, one's an artist. And this was a while back, and I was like interviewing them, and they had like a concept. I forgot what the concept is. It's about a kid that he was chosen to do something. So he was taught by a kung fu master. The guy had skills or something like that.
Yeah,
I can't break it down, but it wasn't a bad story neither. I probably could send it to you.
Yeah.
But let's dive into Black Spartan. Yeah, I could show some illustrations of Black Spartan. Yeah, I was reading it. It was pretty cool.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
You got the first 100 pages, right?
Yeah, that you sent me. I kind of took a snapshot because I was like struggling to get it through my Gmail and stuff like that. So I had to use my computer, but I took a snapshot and yeah. But yeah, why don't you tell the viewers what Black Spartan's about?
And so it's a story. Balbino is the main character of it, and he's set in a mystical world where there's monsters and demons and all of that, and there's these guilds called hunter guilds. And the hunters get paid to go from city to city, and they take on whatever job is necessary. And the people pay the hunters to deal with whatever monsters there are. But that also, there's hunters that are in it for the good of the helping people. There's hunters that are in it for the money and a system like that, obviously. And so Balbino is setting out to build a hunter guild, and so the comic starts with it being his first day, and day one, minute one of his journey to build out this hunter guild, and as it goes along, it talks about how his father was part of a guild called the Spartans, and he's talking about rebuilding the hunter guild to kind of reclaim the glory of that Spartan name. But it's a cool story. It's a lot of people say that it's funny. The three things I hear the most about it is that it's funny, the concept is good, and it has a great storyline, so people are being engaged with it. That's the stuff I hear the most.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I mean, like I was kind of really getting into it. Like, I would say like the chapter 3, with the girl she's fighting, and they start kind of joining forces with another girl, and they, like you said, like they're fighting these demons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
there's
illustrations.
I was saying it does wrap up chapter by chapter, and I try to, one of the things, analyze the other anime and manga and stuff, and My Hero Academia is really popular, and one of the methods that helps it be as engaging as it is the episodic factor of it. And so, it's not like Dragon Ball Z where you got to watch, or One Piece, even though I love One Piece, where you got to watch, 20 episodes to get through this one little piece of a problem. My Hero
Yeah.
Academia usually solves a problem. It introduces, deals with, and solves a problem all in an episode, and that's what the in Black Spartans is trying to give. From beginning to the end of the comic, you feel satisfied with a full story while also chaining it together to make a bigger overall story.
So how many like chapters or volumes have you done?
So just the 4 chapters are
Okay.
done. I have 2 more chapters. So the first 6 chapters. So the first 4 chapters are fully done. The first 6 chapters are outlined, sketched, and so I got roughs for 2 more chapters. And scripts and all of that. And then I have chapter synopsis, so a play by play of what's supposed to happen in each chapter for the next 10 chapters as well. So to help, I try to stay 10 chapters ahead to keep that continuity in there, so I'm not writing in plot holes. And then there are 200 chapters mapped out of things to happen. Like I said, Black Spartans is our big story. We put a lot of time and energy into building out the backstory, building out the lore, building out the world, and so it's a pretty deep story, intricate storytelling.
Yeah, it's interesting. What inspired you to come up with the story?
What inspired me to come up with the story? My favorite trope in anime is the inner demon main character. That's my favorite anime trope. The Naruto with the 9 tails inside of him, or
Yeah, I watched a little bit of Naruto. Forgive me. The anime I watched was like Inuyasha. I watched Ninja Scroll, but I don't know. They don't call it anime, but they would call it a manga. It's an animated movie, manga type, Ghost in the Shell, that type of stuff.
Anime is just the animated version of manga.
Yeah.
And Inuyasha is actually a good example. It's not the inner demon trope, but it's the demon as the hero trope.
Yeah.
Because Inuyasha's half demon. But that's just one of my favorite tropes in anime. So I knew that I wanted a main character that had, an inner demon. I feel like I felt like I had inner demons growing up, and I think that's might be why it's one of my favorite tropes. But I was really inspired by One Piece, the world building of One Piece, and so I know I wanted a really intricate world. Bleach. I don't know if you've seen Bleach, but
a little bit or something.
Yeah. I have a strong opinion that the best thing that to ever exist in anime is the Bankai. It's the mode that their sword goes in Bleach when they powering up. And so I like the Bleach power system, and the as well as the world of the something like the Witch. I like the monsters and demons and mythical creatures and stuff. And so I wanted to marry all of that together, that deep world building. I like the big swords and interest in different types of powers and different types of sword type / type weapons, as well as those types of villains. And so just thinking about all of that is how I ended up with this with what is Black Spartans, with this deep storytelling and these really dope swords and powers and monsters and villains that are intricate, interesting, new, as well as just dope to look at.
Yeah, it seems different. Don't really see too much. I don't watch manga like the anime like that.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a little bit of One Piece, but it has like this quest. Like these, or is it 3 people in the story that you would say that they're on a quest.
Yeah. So, in chapter one, it starts off as with just
Yeah,
Balvino starting
yeah,
the guild, and then chapter two, he ends up recruiting his first person for the guild, and then chapter three and four, they come across Amara, the third person, and end up recruiting her. And you know there won't be a new recruit every arc or
yeah,
every chapter. But it also won't just be those three. As the story continues to progress, more people will end up joining the guild.
yeah. Like when you was writing the story, like what like like how did you feel confident in like showcasing it to people?
Oh yeah. You know, that's just a kind of a personal thing that you got to get over. Sitting down writing the story, and ultimately, I was writing it for me. I was writing what I wanted to read. I was writing the stuff that I like, because I feel like that's the only way that you can write good stuff and authentic stuff, right? If I'm trying to write something that I don't necessarily like, but I think other people might like, then there's no heart, there's no authenticity in that. And so I just had to get comfortable in writing what I wanted to write, and then going through the editing process of proofreading, as well as just checking all the stuff that I said and how comfortable am I? Do I like how it flows, how it sounds, how it feels? Uh, and then after that, it's a do it or don't, right? If I haven't made it that far, I don't have the time. It makes no sense for me to be gun shy. I didn't already put the time and energy into writing it, and I'm writing something that I liked, and I confirmed that I like it. And so now it's just time to put it out there. And if people don't like it, people don't like it. Uh, if they do, they do. That's great. That's even better. But if they don't,
Yeah,
uh, then I'm still happy because I wrote it. I like it. I go back and read it sometimes. Just hey, this is my own thing that I created. Uh, so yeah, if somebody's creating something like a book or a comic or just something creative in general, after you done went through and put the time, effort, energy, blood, sweat, tears all into the creation of it, there's no more room or space for hesitation when it comes to putting it out and circulating it.
yeah. Who was like the first person that you shared the story with?
First person I shared the story with was my friend, a friend of mine from high school, uh, a guy named E Milo, and just of the lore that I built, the story that I built, uh, and he loved it. He thought it was dope. He thought it was interesting, and so that was a good feeling.
Yeah, cool. That's cool. Yeah, I mean that's cool because you just started writing. You just started writing through YouTube. So yeah, you
Yeah.
wasn't writing like stories before or nothing like that. You just
No,
read
not
comics.
really. I mean, so two things. I mean, when I had to be like 8 or 9.
Yeah,
Uh, I had a 3-ring binder with the Brandon Calloway show.
yeah,
And it was like Martin. You remember Martin, the TV show?
yeah. Of
Uh,
course, of course.
and so I was just writing episodes of the Brandon Calloway show. It was really just a carbon copy of Martin. Uh, because I wanted to be an actor, I wanted to write, I wanted to like this. This is what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
Uh, and and then I stopped, and I hadn't really done anything. And so I can't say that I've been doing this all my life, because that was uh, you could say that was a phase of me writing that when I was 8. Um, but prior to that, I've had some academic writing stuff, and so writing about exercise physiology and things like that. Uh, but really coming up with a story, developing a story, writing a script, and all of that, yeah, that was Black Spartans #1 was the first time I did that.
Yeah, yeah. Like who's like the illustrators of Black Spark?
Yeah, and so Black Spartans 1, 2, and 3 are illustrated by Macchiato Studios. So a couple of brothers out of Florida. Um, and then Black Spartans 4 is uh, is illustrated by a different guy, Caesar Gutierrez, and yeah, and so it's different, a little bit of a different art style. Number 4 has most people have a more affinity to the chapter 4 art style, but I like the art all the way through chapter 1 through 4.
Yeah, the art is cool. Yeah, I like it. It's cool. You know, it's not even like it has a little bit of manga in it, but it's like a different style to it. If it makes sense. So yeah, I like the how they fighting the demons and stuff, and yeah. So like with his staff, he uses a word rise I forgot the name of it. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right,
Yeah,
but
you
like
know, Otakamaru is the name of the story. So the power system of the world of Black Spartans
right, right,
is that the hunters have so they use celestial spirit
yeah,
weapons, and so
Atakamaru.
yep, yeah, you got it. So
Yeah,
they all are a spirit bond with a celestial spirit, and that word rise is them calling upon that celestial spirit energy, and it forms into it shows up in the form of a specific weapon for them. And
yeah,
so Balbino's celestial spirit is Otakamaru, and the weapon that the celestial energy takes form in is that demonic looking sword.
yeah. I know also the other girl. I forgot her name. She says something different. Let me see. Um, I know she says something different in the. I don't know if I could. Yeah, this girl right here.
Yeah, you're talking about Dianita. And
Diana.
so
Yeah,
yeah, so she has a yeah. So all of the hunters have a different celestial spirit. So
right.
they all got different names, but they all start with that word rise is the initiator for all of them.
Yeah, for some reason this giving me like Sunman vibes a little bit. I don't know you ever about Sunman. It was like a comic, and he had I forgot how it went, but he had powers of the sun,
Mm.
and he I forgot like he I have to go back, but but it was a toy. It was like a black version of He-Man at the time. I don't know if you
Oh
remember it.
no, I
Yeah,
don't. No,
and
but I like that.
this African American Black American woman, she
Hmm.
created it because she seen her son, desiring He-Man. So she just came up with a concept of creating Sunman. But the thing was, because I knew about it because I seen it in a paper one time, and I thought it was cool just looking at it. I think I seen it at a store, and but it wasn't popular, at the time. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so I mean, I don't want to say it's like that, but it just kind of reminds me of that.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's all right. Well, if
yeah,
when people say if something that I write reminds them of something else, that just means that they're connecting with it on a personal level, and it's making them think of something else that's personal to them. So Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's a cool story. Like, would you say like other people, like you say it's diverse? Would you say like other readers of other groups read it, or I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Yeah, so Blerd Comics, we are for Black nerds by Black nerds, right?
right.
Uh, but just like just like we watch anime and superhero, we read superhero comics and watch Marvel and DC and all of that, and we enjoy stuff that we not represented in all the time.
Yeah, which is
Uh,
true.
yeah, right. Like we are forced to. And so, at Blerd Comics, we have supporters that, are enjoying our stories, even though they are not represented in it.
Yeah, yeah. This is cool. Yeah, I was really getting into it. Like I like the action to it, rampaging slice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have other comics that I think you sent me, Michael.
Hmm.
I read some of that. That seemed kind of interesting. It seemed like a Doctor Strange type of thing. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
more of that is a superhero origin story, while
Okay.
Black Spartans is like, the kickoff of a whole anime, whole manga. Michael is the first issue of a superhero origin story.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I read some of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Forgive
So
me, I ain't get deep into the story, but why don't you
yeah, no,
break
that's
it
all right.
down a
Yeah,
little bit?
yeah.
Yeah.
Michael is so he's the son of the archangel Michaela, uh,
Okay.
and and uh, and a human. So his mom's an archangel, his dad's a human, and so he's a Nephilim, and so he looks human, but he has the power of an archangel walking around the human world. And
Hmm.
so kind of think of Nephilims as similar to Kryptonians, right? Um,
Okay.
and uh, and so he's struggling, figuring out how to use his power, the not necessarily wanting to use his power, and then um, having to deal with the return of a fallen angel that wants to you know uh, ascend to godhood. So this is the initial story into that, and him wrestling with who he is, wrestling with uh, the deep anger that he has with his mom having to leave because she's an archangel, uh,
Mm.
and, and so yeah, it's funny. It's a different tone than Black Spartans. Um,
Yeah.
and so one of the kind of thing about our the anthology that we're putting out, the Blerd Files, which is like X Files for Black nerds, is a whole bunch of different Blerd stories. Uh,
Mm.
is why we say you're guaranteed to find your next favorite story in this book, because these are two of the five. We got Knights of Olympus is a whole nother story, a
Yeah.
post-apocalyptic story with a different tone, and then Reign of Chaos is isekai story, and so a guy getting transferred into a Elden Ring, Dark Souls type world,
Yeah.
and dying over and over and over again. Um, and then we even got Casey Wolf. So we're based in Kansas City, and so we got Casey Wolf as a superhero running around the streets of Kansas City. Um,
Mm.
Yeah, and so we different stories. They they all have different tones to them, and it's it's it really is a way for us to guarantee people that they'll find one of their next favorite stories in inside of our book.
Yeah, like wow, this is cool. Like just looking at it, I mean, I wouldn't even say like it's like a manga imitation, really. Like the way the art is. I like the art, man. Like wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, the story seemed a little bit interesting. I was reading some of it, but I could, I didn't really have time to read. I just read the Black Spartan one. Yeah, but yeah, I would like to read this more. Wow. I was like looking at some of it because the way he, it seemed, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Doc Strange, especially on this panel. I was like,
yeah,
oh, okay, this, yeah, like yeah. So it's basically okay, wow, this is different, man. Yeah, yeah. Like do you connect with like the characters like that you write about?
yeah, man. One of the first steps is to just like so first build the world, then you start to build the story, and then you build the character. And in that, I mean, we talk about we build up what was their childhood like, what's the relationships like, what's their personality, what would they do in this situation, what would they do in this situation, um, and so for me, start to bring those characters to life so that they become an entity, a person in and of themselves. And so when I go back to write, I'm just really, you know, guiding the story as it goes based off of who these characters are and what they would do. Uh, so yeah, yeah. I really do connect with the stories.
Yeah, yeah. You have another one. It's called Reign of Chaos.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let me open this up and see if yeah, check this out. Why don't you break that down of Reign of Chaos?
Yeah, so Rain Chaos, that's the one that I was talking about. It's the Isekai one where the guy gets transferred, so he gets sucked through a portal, and he goes from the regular world that me and you live in to this video game type world, and it is there are a lot of anime where somebody gets sucked into another world, and that world has those video game type rules. It's the isekai uh, genre of anime, and so he gets sucked into this world that is it's Dark Souls, Elden Ring type
Mhm.
difficulty of it's those games where you're just dying over and over and over again. It just seems impossible to beat. And so he gets sucked into one of those worlds, and his only way out is to just suck it up and play through it and beat the game. Uh, and and so he is starting his journey, going on these quests to level up so he can become the champion of chaos, and yeah, de- defeat
Yeah,
the Dark
yeah,
Lord.
yeah. I read. Yeah, I was reading some of it. It was very interesting. Yeah, it kind of has like this like Jumanji type thing. If you correct me, yeah, yeah. If I don't know, like Dungeons and Dragon type of thing.
Yeah.
Like the anime series to Dungeons and Dragon. It kind of reminded me a little bit of that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. It's cool. Like, yeah. So, like, how long did it take you to write this story?
Oh well, by that time, because I wrote Black Spartans 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. then Reign of Chaos 1 and 2, and then I actually wrote. So you saw the first 24 pages of Michael. I wrote 100 pages of Michael, and so there's a whole bunch more of that to come, which is going back to the thing of we do 60 pagers and we do 8 pagers, and so that's the first 24 pages of that full 60 page origin story of Michael, and then I got a couple of 8 pagers. I got a 10 pager for Michael as well. I think another 8 pager. But yeah, and so now I come up with the story with the concept, and that probably I give myself. So if I actually sit down and start doing that and putting it on paper, I give myself a full day to do it, and then another day to sit on it, and then I write out an actual synopsis of what is going to happen, everything that's going to happen in that comic, and that might take me 30 minutes to do, and then from there I write out the actual script, and 8-page comic might take me an hour or two to write. A 60-page comic might take me 4 to 6 hours to write.
Okay. Wow. Oh yeah. I mean, everybody can't do that, man. That's really wow. You probably meant to, like writing comics. It kind of remind me a little bit of Stan Lee a little bit, because I know he started off like being an actor or something like that, and he just started writing comics. So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. That's a dope comparison.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, on a personal level, I've tried to write comics too, and it's not very easy. I even took like courses and stuff like that. I tried, but just fleshing out the story. What kind of advice would you tell somebody that, especially writing in your experience?
Yeah. So the biggest thing is make a decision, stick with it, and execute. That's the biggest thing. Yeah. The challenge is that the creative people, we have so many ideas. We come up with an idea and then we're like, oh man, it'd be really dope to go in this direction instead. And like maybe that new idea just needs to be a whole new story. And maybe that goes on a list of new stories that you do eventually at some point in time. But you right now, you set a task, you do the task, and you get comfortable with that result, and you move on and do the thing. I'm creative, but I also am impatient, and I have I'm task oriented. I like to knock stuff out and move on. I like to see progress being made. Like I love to see progress being made. And so I think those two things together give me the unique ability to be able to do this. I've talked to other people that try to create comics, and the thing that I find that the biggest death point in that from the world building, story building, character creating, the writing the script, the working with the artist, and all of that, the part that stops the most people, that hump that people can't get over, is the script. Right? Writing that script. If you can get over that script, if you can write the script, you can be a comic creator, because not everybody can write the script.
You ever thought about writing like a feature-length movie to Spartan or one of your comics?
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I'm not necessarily, when I think of movies, I think of live action, and I'm not necessarily wanting to. I'm not. I don't know. A live action thing doesn't excite me right now. I'm more excited about so turning Black Spartans into a whole series that gets animated, and
But that's
then
what I was trying to say. I meant
yeah,
like yeah, like a animated movie because it
well yeah,
seemed like it. I could see it as an animated. Just when I was reading it, I could see it as an animated series
yeah,
to that
yeah,
effect. Yeah,
yeah. Now something like Michael, I could definitely see Michael being done as a movie. I think
right.
that'd be cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Michael is very interesting. I would like to read it. Yeah. That what about like you ever been to comic conventions?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how was that for you?
Oh man, I love going to the Comic Cons and seeing people in cosplay and seeing people celebrate and just be free. I don't know what your experience necessarily was like, but growing up as a black nerd, so growing up as a nerd, is stuff that you hid. It kind of in general, it wasn't. Now it's cool to be a nerd.
Yeah,
Back
of course. Of
it
course,
was.
Steve Urkel and stuff. I mean, if you
Yeah,
wore glasses, they look at you as Steve Urkel. Yeah, I got that. I mean, I wasn't a nerd, I would say. I mean, I just like one back in the day.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, but it just liking all of that stuff. It's like an
Yeah,
anime, like in superheroes, like in comic books. That wasn't a thing that people connected over. In high school, because that was a thing that might get you laughed at or made fun of,
I
or
never experienced that. To tell you the truth, I mean, I'm not saying a whole lot
yeah,
of people would embrace it, but back in the day, I used to hang out with people that was really into comics. I remember I used to I used to like steal comics from the store sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah, back in the day, we'd be reading it a little bit, just yeah, like yeah. I mean, I
yeah.
never really had that
And,
experience too much
and
like
I think
that.
I remember having Yu-Gi-Oh cards
Yeah.
in middle school and like seventh and eighth grade and being called weird.
You
And
30? You in your 30s?
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I figured that because when you said Yu-Gi-Oh, I was like in my 20s.
Yeah. uh and so going to Comic Cons
Yeah,
and seeing, you know, just people freely willing and able to, be who they are, and
yeah,
then black people being willing and able to be who they are as well. Uh, I love it. I love it. I think it's a fun thing. I love the rise of them. In Kansas City, we have a big one called Planet Comic Con, and
okay.
now we have a Planet Anime as well. So now we have two a year instead of one, because it's growing so much that they had to pull the anime stuff out and put it into its own thing, which just means more Comic Cons for us to go to here. So yeah, I'm loving it, man.
Yeah. Oh, so that's where you're based from, Kansas City.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, yeah. I'm in New York City. Yeah, I've been to like the Comic Con, but this was like what, like I would say like 13 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
I seen an old classmate of mine, and he for the past years, like I would say 20 years, he been making comics.
Oh, that's what's
He
up.
yeah, he did Batgirl, Spider-Man. He even worked with the Black Eyed Peas, Yeah, so
That's
yeah.
dope. That's
Yeah,
dope.
yeah, I met him there. I met him somewhere else, like in the train station, and then because
Yeah.
he spotted me, and then we had like a brief conversation. So somebody invited me to go to Comic Con, and I just long and behold, I seen him. He was being interviewed by somebody, and I was like, wow. I didn't know you was doing this. And
Yeah.
then when I come to thinking, I like back in the 2000s, I got one of his comics that he
Uh-huh.
illustrated. And
Yeah.
it
Dope.
was it was a comic with Batgirl. She was Cassandra Cain as Batgirl.
Mm-hmm.
So and I see the name. I was like, is this the same person that I knew in high school? But I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
seen him. It was funny. It was a funny. He even went to Japan. Like he stayed
Oh
there for
wow.
7 years. Yeah, he got eventually married to a Japanese woman, and they got a kid together and stuff. Yeah, I stopped seeing him. He goes, he bounces back from Cali to New York because he worked with other people. He worked with Snoop, Steph Curry, and all that type of stuff. So
That's dope. Yeah.
yeah,
Really
yeah,
dope.
yeah, yeah. I mean, so like, what's the future holds for Blerd Comics at this point?
Yeah, man. So right now we're just trying to rack up as many reviews as we possibly can, right? And so, the best way for people to know that again, we are promising and guaranteeing that you're gonna find your next favorite comic in our book, specifically the Blerd files, because that has all of our stuff together. So we're trying to get as many reviews as possible to and we so confident we giving away anything that we have for free for people to give a real, honest, authentic review. And we confident that we will get, just as is. We're confident our stuff is good enough that we will get much more positive reviews than we will get negative or even just the mediocre reviews that will be mostly 4 and 5 stars. Because we're building up as much proof as possible to show everybody that we can truly guarantee that you will find your next favorite story in this book. And so we'll do this. We'll put out. We got more books coming in the traditional superhero stuff. Some more of like the Michael. We got Detroit Red, Checkmate. We got a bunch of different superheroes that'll be hitting with some 8-pagers and 60 pages. We got more Black Spartans coming. We got the big releases, the Blerd files that's coming in early July. That'll be one book that has all of our all of our stuff in it. But long term vision, as we continue to grow our comics and grow the audience for the comics, and the more comics we sell, the closer we get to actually launching the full Blerd TV platform. We have the Blerd TV YouTube channel right now.
I could check it out.
Yeah,
How was that? How was that from the Blerd? I didn't check out the YouTube, but like, how was that? Like, what you just showcased, like comic stories, or?
We got a few different things, and so we turned some of the comics into motion comics, and so some of the like Black Spartans #1, you can actually go watch it on YouTube. So
How about this? We can go to YouTube now and we check it out.
Yep.
Yeah, hold on for a second.
Yeah. You have a documentary on there on Blerd Culture. We got a live action movie on there from Open Gate Studios, and so that's a Blerd TV is our avenue for really creating a full streaming service. Trying to be the Netflix of Black anime.
Okay.
So yeah.
I don't see it. Blerd. Is it a Pacific name? Blerd.
Blerd TV.
Oh, Blerd TV. Okay, Blerd. Okay, I got you. Blerd TV.
Yeah, just like Blerd Comics, Blerd TV.
Oh, I got you. Oh shit. Let me see. Okay, got you. I see you. Hold on for a second, and yeah, check it out. Tell me when you see it.
Okay.
Look at the shorts and stuff. Can you see this?
No, I can still see you.
No. Okay, hold on. Oh, I don't know what happened. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, but I mean, if you can't pull it up, that's all right. People can go check it. I mean, Blerd TV.
I don't know what happened. Hold on.
Oh, it look like it's loading.
Yeah.
Yeah, that look like one of the shorts.
Yeah, this thing is funny, man. Oh shit. Oh, you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right. Yeah. All right. Let me put the speaker on.
It's hella simple. Was Aaron wrong?
No, he was not.
Mm. Yes, and you
Bottom
got
parents
your
are like,
interviews. Wow. Okay. And this is you.
Hey, my name is Brandon Calloway. I am the creator of Blerd TV. We're a streaming service for Black nerds by Black nerds. But right now, we are launching our YouTube channel. We have all of our original content. So make sure you check out our comics. We have, hey, my name is Brandon Calloway.
Yeah.
I am the creator of Blerd TV.
Yeah. So
we're a streaming service.
Yeah, so those are the shorts, but we have about 100 videos, like actual long videos on there.
yeah, man. I'll stay in tune with that, man.
Yeah,
I'm glad we talked. Yeah. I definitely support you on this.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you
Yeah.
taking the time and reading the stuff and inviting me on to talk about Blerd comics and all the stuff that we got going.
Yeah, I mean that's what I do. I mean, I if I see something I like, I want to reach out, and yeah, I'm glad that you responded to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
So let me leave you alone, man. But we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you, and definitely, always down to come back home.
Oh, no doubt. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right.